But just to give you that sense of familiarity on the way out. Great. This is a banger song. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lowen University. Quincentuple Your Money. Is quincentuple a real word? Quincentuple Your Money. Anyway, the song is from the band's 2001 EP titled Present Day Memories, which is actually a split EP with another band called the Chinkies, but it might be more widely known from the 2005 reissue titled Cocktails and Dreams. You guys always know I'm kind of intrigued by interesting band names, so I had to keep reading to see if I found something on it, and I sure did. It says 3 musicians came together to form the Lawrence Arms in 1999, taking their name from the apartment complex in which Kelly and McCoffin had lived before being evicted in the middle of the night. Jeez. Now, between what I'm recording today and what I'm recording tomorrow, I'm getting a very healthy dose of the Lawrence Arms this weekend because their 2006 album, Oh Calcutta, just won the full album poll for August over on Patreon. And by the time you see this video, that will have just been released yesterday. Either way, you should come by and hang out with all of us and listen through. Anyway, requests for this band have been a long mainstay in the comments, especially this song in particular. It's a very memorable title. I see it all the time. But I haven't done this band on the channel despite having done 2 of their songs on Patreon already. The first was Faintly Falling Ashes on an old Christmas mixtape compilation. I remember really liking it. The bass playing was fingerstyle and it just really drew me in. Then I heard them a month ago. The song was Cut It Up, and it wasn't my favorite. It was okay. The vocals took some getting used to, but I've since learned that they have 2 vocalists who trade off. So let's see what this song's all about, giving them another chance today. Without further ado, here is Quincentuple. Cool word. Your Money from the Lawrence Arms. Okay.
There's a letter at my mother's house, came with a photo flag. It said right now I'm coming.
Okay. These vocals, I don't mind at all. I don't know if it's just different eras of the band. That was 2006. This is, what, back in 2001? 2 vocalists. I'm not sure who is who. Don't mind what I'm hearing so far. We got to talk about that bass intro. The first thing that jumped out at me is I think bass player Brendan Kelly is using the open G string. And open strings are interesting. Most of you might think, well, what's the difference between an open string or fretting it? Well, the tone is very different, and when you have a lot of fretted notes mixed in with open strings, it can sometimes jump out. Maybe that's what you want, maybe it's what you don't want, but it sounds like that's the case here. The open G string has that kind of twang when it sustains, because it's this. Something like that. Let me go back and hear it again, but just listen for the open G, the note that hangs on a bit. It kind of has that wow, versus. So it's a different tone. It sticks out to me. And I try to avoid open strings if I can for that reason. Okay, that's a really nerdy thing to point out. Let's hear what's actually going on, but it might just be the best way to position it. Otherwise, you'd have to go, which I guess you could play it up here.
There's a letter at my
But there's a uniformity doing it all on one string like that versus just a little too dark and, I don't know, a little bit too fat of a tone there. This one kind of cuts. So just some really nerdy stuff to point out there. Cool little melody. Catchy bass melody to kick things off. All right. Down here in G major.
It said right now I'm coming home in a body bag. It's the pride and the pain that I want in the same. It's a burning cigarette, it's a horrible dream. There's a man in an office who's going through bars, and a woman who watches TV. But she doesn't get the jokes told by the late night talk show host. But for some reason she laughs anyway.
Cool. Okay, I do like this. And it, you know, I don't want to keep getting hung up on the vocals. I think they were just really kind of pretty sharp and, I don't know, they were abrasive. This has a bit more of a melodic character to them. Just really hitting that chorus there. whatever it was. And then he brought the bass line down here in the post-verse section, mimicking the intro, but down an octave. Again, I talk about the range of the bass line. What if he started the song in the lower octave and did the higher one there? Well, the song would come across a little differently, right? But in the verse here, he did some bass power chords, and that tone was really damn good. Crunchy, just perfectly mixed. Go back and hear that section again, right here. Yeah, I like the vocals there. Right here. Okay, listen to the bass part here. Chords, but it cuts. There's the intro.
There's a soap in my bathroom and it's all covered in hairs.
Okay, what's interesting here is it doesn't sound like the bass is doing those chords from earlier. So it's like the bass, you know, the very last song I did, much the same. The bass was kind of like doing this the whole song. So now we got busier, then pulled it back a bit. So again, every bass player storyboards and uses dynamics a bit differently. But that first part was great. Right down in that range where bass chords start to get a little messy. And the sweet spot, if you can find it, it's pretty much where he's playing. I always say it's about B flat or B. Because if you get down to like F, you know, this doesn't sound good. This is the same thing as, but it's past the point of no return, as I like to say. So bass chords. If you pull some bass out of the tone, nope, that wasn't it. Where's my bass knob on this bass? Right here. If you pull some bass out, you can get away with a few more notes. But anyway, that's where we are. Yeah, kind of just hugging roots here. Now they're back. Someone will run out and never turn around. There's a park in the city. Really dig that guitar layer there. It almost has this atmospheric type of, I don't know what genre I'm fishing for in my mind, just kind of twangy, drony. Just thickens things up, whatever genre that is. It reminds me of that. And that's a good thing to do songwriting-wise. The vocals stop. Well, the vocals take up a lot of space in the mix, a lot of presence melodically, right? My first time hearing it just now, that was a great effect. Listen to the transition there. It just jumps right in and fills things out when the vocals stop singing. And will explode. Where someone will cry, and someone will run out and never turn around. This drony stuff. And the bass is under it, being a bit more rhythmic. What's happening there? Like a... well, some octaves. Nope, fits again. In the city where I used to go, but now there's a park in the city where I used to go, but now it's covered with fences and gums and light posts, and I'd never go back if anything was the same. But it kills me to know that it's changed. That's a great bass tone. There's these kids who have dreams. When there's these dreams that will grow until they get so goddamn big that they explode. What's left in the smoke and this falling debris? It's almost like some, I use these terms loosely, like Police, U2, in terms of the guitar approach with some of the layering, kind of plinky, high up, palm muted, just providing just as much texture as there is harmonic content, notes and such, chord progressions. But just the tones or the effects they're using, it just has this, we got dreamy for a second there. So it's like the song was brought down in your typical, let's bring the energy down for maybe the bridge and 2/3 of the way through the song. But they didn't lose energy in that type of way. The tones got a bit dreamier. Cool guitar stuff here, worth pointing out too. I really dig that.
Goddamn big that they explode. And what's left in the smoke and it's falling to free. It's grown-ups like them and losers like me. What's left in the smoke and it's falling to free. It's grown-ups like
Cool.
them and losers like me. It's grown-ups like them and losers like me. It's grown-ups like them and losers like me. Yeah, tonight let's go walking up my street and look at the buildings that we never seen. We'll stop at the bar and pass out on the floor. Tomorrow we'll forget everything and we'll replay these days again.
Nice little callback. Great. I love when songs do this. I'm always keen on pointing this out. Of course, the song started with... Went away for a second. Then at the end of one of those verses... Did it down an octave. And then about 2 minutes went by and we haven't heard that theme come back. I'm going to call it a theme. It really brought the song in, repeated. So a recurring motif. Now the guitars have done it for the first time ever, unless they snuck it in one of these layers and I missed it. But just to give you that sense of familiarity on the way out. Great. This is a banger song. Here, one more time. Ooh, kind of an inversion there. Okay, this particular flavor of the Lawrence Arms I like the most so far. And the vocals still aren't my preferred cup of tea, but I like them a lot better than the song Cut It Up. And again, tomorrow I'm going to hear the entire Oh Calcutta album. So I'll maybe have a better chance to hear both vocalists, how they trade off who's who, because I have no idea who's who. I have no idea who he was even singing on Faintly Falling Ashes or what album that was even from. That was literally over a year ago. Was it 8 months ago? It's still a long time. Come hang out on Patreon and listen through that album, which should now be out as of September 1st. Come find us, patreon.com/Lone University. I believe that's episode 23 in a sea of full album reactions. We've done a lot of punk, a lot of ska, and we're going to keep this thing going. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe. It really helps me out. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.